What it do? Welcome to the J-Boy Sports Podcast. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. If you don't love the content, you can still do those things because you could always help a brother out. I would help you out. Make sure that you comment so that we can have conversations in the comment section. I will definitely reply to you because ball is life. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our great content. And lastly, but not least, make sure you hang on at the end of the video because we have some other suggested videos that we know you will love. With that said, the Thunder have brought the Thunder and have won another game in this series. So the Thunder win game 4 the hard way against the Pacers. What a game it was. I was talking to people the entire time, messaging back and forth with different friends, some of the other people that I've met through starting this channel. And ultimately, it was really just a great game, an excellent game. One of the best games I've seen in the finals. I would argue it's one of the best games I've ever seen in the finals. I could argue it. Just intense, back and forth. Bunch of lead changes. I thought the Thunder were going to lose when the Pacers pulled away by 10. I believe that was, they had a 10-point lead at the end of the fourth, and I think the Thunder cut it down a little bit moving into the fourth quarter. I think they had a 7-point lead. At one point in time in the fourth, towards the end of the fourth, they had a 10, and I think Caruso scored a couple of points, and then they went into the fourth quarter down 7. I could be wrong. Somebody can correct me in the comment section. But it was really just a great game. And the thing that I noticed that I really paid attention to was just both of these teams are elite teams. And there's no real denying that. And to be honest with you, I don't even think the Thunder are as complete as the Pacers. And I know that sounds crazy because they won and everybody will look at that and be like, oh, well, you know, and they had the best record and all that stuff. But this Pacers team is no joke, man. And I thought it would be a lot easier for the Thunder, but they're making them work and they're doing a lot of smart things. So first of all, Rick Carlisle's playing like 12 people, legit like 12. Each person has a role, but their role changes depending upon what they're capable of. It's like I've never seen a coach know his players so much. They all can get jiggy with it at any given time. So whether it's Obi Toppin, Benedict Mathurin, the oldest name in the world, the man with the oldest name in the world. Sometimes it's McConnell, TJ. And there's times where you look at these guys and you're like, dang, like, sometimes there's another guy named Shepard. They had a guy named Walker that came in one of the series. And you're just like, some of these people, who are they, man? Like, how are they doing this? And it just goes to show you that I do believe that great coaching can change things for a player. Obi Toppin was on the Knicks, and Tom Thibodeau, regardless if you like Thibodeau or not, respectfully did a horrible job developing Obi Toppin. Horrible. And I saw all these things in Obi Toppin. He started shooting threes a little bit on the Knicks. He had crazy athletic ability. And you're sitting there wondering, well, why can't they work with a guy like this? They got his brother right now. And to me, they seem like similar players. The Knicks should be looking at this and saying, how do we do that with his brother? You know what I mean? And I don't think they are. But, you know, they let Obi Toppin go for no real reason, in my opinion. And he's balling. You know, everybody that steps on the court for them has a role and they ball out. Naismith, Nembhard, Halliburton obviously is the leader of that with Siakam. Turner does enough. You know, they have a very complete unit, in my opinion. But the Thunder have managed to pull this off. SGA was remarkable all night long. And if you take a look at, he finished with 35, and he was 50% from the field. 1 for 4 from 3, 10 for 10 from the free throw line. Jalen Williams, J-Dub, was 11 for 11 from the free throw line, 8 for 18 from the field. Chet chipped in 14, had some big rebounds at the end of the game, had 15 boards altogether. And Lou Dort has some tough defensive plays at the end of the game. Hartenstein managed to hang in there. Managed to be somewhat relevant because I know he's had a tough time. They've been abusing him, but he hung in there. Caruso had 20 off the bench, and that's really all she wrote. So, but when I'm watching the games, it looks like the Thunder are struggling more on offense, but they also have the most elite player by far in this series on offense in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So SGA, it was a masterclass, man. Like, I had some, and listen, you guys know if you listen to this channel, my favorite player of all time is Kobe Bryant. But I'm willing to compare SGA to Kobe. I believe in him that much. Is he near Kobe right now? Like at peak Kobe? No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is his maturity and his growth can lead him in that direction. To be better than Kobe, you'd have to be insane. But you can get in the conversation with him. T-Mac was in the conversation with Kobe. Allen Iverson was in the conversation with Kobe. But were they necessarily on Kobe's level completely? No. He was a step above. But they were in the convo because that's how good they were. And I think SGA is on that trajectory. If he can manage to pull out this championship specifically, that would be a great start towards that. But I mean, he came out and put on a masterclass. He had the most minutes, and I was watching him, and I thought he was tired. But he managed to put it all together. Somebody was like, "Oh, I can't. If you left Kobe ISO like this, he would have 50." And to an extent, yeah, Kobe was a much more dominant scorer and quick scorer than I think people give him credit. You couldn't make a mistake, and if you made a mistake, Kobe was going to make you pay for it, man. There was no guarding him one-on-one. You had to have people around him at all times, like pretty much. And the difference between him and most people is he scored so fast, right? Like, you make one mistake, you back up a little bit, jump shot. And then when he got hot, it was even worse. It really just wasn't much you could do. You had to do so much when guarding him, and you had to just do so much. And SGA doesn't seem to be the same quick scorer normally, but last night I saw him going a little bit faster than I normally. Like if he got a little bit of an inch, he was taking it. Even if he never even passed the ball to anybody else yet, he was just coming up and shooting the jumper. And he made a lot of them. He was 50% from the field. But him and J-Dub from the line, they missed a lot of free throws last game, especially down the stretch, and those two were very intense. And you got to give Caruso a lot of credit. I mean, man, what a game. He had like one 20-point game all season. He's had two in the finals. Like, talk about somebody stepping up and having the heart of a champion, man. The heart of a champion. So that was the game there. I thought that SGA made a lot of tough jump shots. So if you're the Pacers, you're not mad. The Pacers played a great game plan. They pressured everybody. J-Dub and SGA were pressured the entire game, and I thought they handled it okay. Williams still had 4 turnovers. That's still a lot. But, they handled it okay for the most part. They put pressure on them on every single play. And I'm surprised the Thunder managed to get this many points because they really didn't get help from anybody else. But Alexander and Williams did an excellent job of driving the paint. Really good job. But at times, I still think J-Dub is a little bit limited in his offensive repertoire. I think he's pretty basic with it. But, he's a grinder. Pause, no diddy. So he hung in there, and you got to give him credit for that. Chet still needs to develop as a player. He had 14 points, 15 boards, so you respect that. You got to give him credit for that, numbers-wise. But Chet, at times, gets pushed around. Turner blocked a few of his shots. He needs to put some more beef in his back pocket. He needs some more bacon. He needs some more bacon in them cheeks. Pause, no diddy. He needs more weight. Him and Wemby got to eat more. They got to eat more sandwiches. They're a little too skinny. But, he did the best he could, and he really came up big with a couple of these rebounds. There's a few times where they rotated to somebody else, and, they got right on top of him. And, off on top of other people, pause, and he was able to slide his way to the rim and get easy putback. So he hung in there, and that's really the reason the Thunder won this game. I didn't really think either team played bad. I just thought one team had to win and one had to lose, and ultimately the Pacers began to miss some shots towards the end. Some good shots. Some of those crazy makes that Halliburton has had, he missed a few of them down the stretch in this game. Now, can I hate on him for that? No, because he's been excellent. And those have gone in. But eventually, maybe a little bit of the magic wears off. So Siakam didn't really have a good second half. That also might be somewhat adding to, what happened here. I don't think he scored in the second half, if I'm being honest, which is crazy. I could be wrong. Somebody can fact check me. but I don't think he scored really in the second half. None of them really shot that well except Tyrese and Nembhard. Nembhard, I felt like Nembhard could have been more aggressive. He had 10 points. But outside of him, Naismith didn't have a great game shooting-wise. He had some big rebounds. He ended up fouling out. He shot well from three, but not really from the field. And Miles Turner was 6 for 6 from the free throw line, but only 3 for 10 from the field, so he struggled a little bit. Siakam was only 2 for 6 from three. Off the bench, Obi Toppin continued to top it off. Pause. TJ chipped in 8, Benedict chipped in 8, and Shepard chipped in 3. Thomas Bryant didn't play in this game. That was interesting. I was surprised they didn't play him, really. So, you know, it was a good game by the Pacers. As usual, they brought a lot of people to the party. Unfortunately, they just couldn't close it out. And fortunately for me, because I'm rooting for the Thunder. But it's a really good game, man. Like I said, they pressured the Thunder all game long. The game before this, they looked tired at the end. This game, it looked like they knew what was coming for them, and they just they fought through it, and SGA still managed to close. You know, he had a crazy step back at one point and got his balance, even though he and Naismith, who was guarding him, were off balance, but he still found it. And, you know, it was just an excellent game. Just an excellent game. But you could see what Rick Carlisle was trying to do, tire them out. I got more dogs than you do. I'm going to just keep running bodies at you if you're SGA. And they made it really, really tough for those guys. They made it tough. The Thunder shot horribly from three-point line. Horribly. But, unfortunately, the Pacers didn't shoot much better. So even though Tyrese Halliburton was 7 for 15 from the field, he was 1 for 7 from 3. So it was an interesting game, and I really enjoyed it. And I wasn't really going to do a video on this because my videos on the games haven't really done that well. But I was so impressed by that game yesterday. I was actually trying to work out. But I started watching it in the living room, and I just couldn't leave. And I got a gym in my garage, and I got a TV in there. And I still just did not want to leave that game. It was so impactful every second. If you leave for 2 minutes, it was swinging in the other direction. It was just an excellent, very well played game. I predict the Thunder will win at home. It's not going to be easy. It's still going to be extremely tough. Like I said, the Pacers are presenting them with some things that it's just going to be hard for them. SGA had a couple of really bad defensive sequences. He really struggled at times. But towards the end of the game, specifically, he got a block on Halliburton. He did a few really great things down the stretch on defense. I do think fatigue plays into it. That's no excuse, though. Because if the Pacers would have won this game, it would have been very easy to point back and be like, yo, SGA, on this play, and that play, you didn't play great defense. And he didn't. There's a few times Halliburton just blew by him like he wasn't there. But he stepped it up at the end. You know, he stepped it up at the end, and they all buckled down, and they slowed down some of these Tyrese Halliburton drives. Which leads me to another point. Tyrese Halliburton is a really great finisher. He's about 6'4", 6'5". He's got some nice finishes, man. He threw the ball at the top of the backboard on one and just finished it over two people, including Chet, I think. So he's elite at getting by people. I'm starting to see that now. Like, that's what separates him is he creates a lane to get by you. He has a crazy hesitation. And again, he's like 6'5", but he's a long 6'5", no Diddy. Like, he's got long arms, long legs. He's tough, man. He's tough. So I thought I'd give him some credit on that. His finishing ability is top notch. He's probably one of the best finishers in the league. And obviously his shot making ability is top notch, as we see too. So with that said, we're going to leave the video there. I just wanted to touch base on the game. It was an excellent game. Really well played, well thought out, well coached. I think the Thunder coach, Dagnall, people are hating on him a little bit. Listen, it may not look exactly how you want it to look, but you can't be mad at the results, and he's the one putting these people in position. Also, shout out to, what's that guy's name on the Thunder? KJ, is that his name? Kenrick Williams. I thought they call him KJ, though. I'm not sure. But I like this game. He only had 4 points and 3 boards and played 11 minutes, but the minutes he was in, he's a good player. I like him. He was doing good things, and he was a +7. He was a +7 when he was on the floor. The only other person that was higher was Chet and Caruso at +14, and those are 2 of your stars right there. You know, so this young man, he's got a nice little future on him. So again, thank you for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Make sure that you hit me up in the comment section, and I'll definitely reply. I love to have conversations because ball is life. Make sure you hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of our great content. Also, please make sure that you hold on at the end of this video because we're going to have some other suggested videos that we know you will love. Thank you very much for your time. I'm very appreciative. I'm very thankful, very humble. Much love. That somehow you never get over leaving me.